A year ago, if Syrian President Ahmed Al-Sharaa had tried to come to New York, he would have risked being arrested. The U.S. had a $10 million bounty on him because of his past connections to the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. Al-Sharaa turned against those groups years ago. In December, he led the rebel forces that toppled Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad, who used bombs and chemical weapons against his own people. Last week, I went to Syria and spoke with Al-Sharaa for 60 minutes. He accused the Assad regime of destroying entire communities and displacing 14 million people. He said foreign investment is desperately needed to rebuild. In June, President Trump temporarily waived some economic sanctions to help Syria recover. But Congress, the UN, and European nations would have to permanently lift more sanctions to draw long-term investment. On Capitol Hill and in foreign capitals, there are people who don't trust Ahmed Al-Sharaa. In New York, he hopes to reintroduce Syria to the world and perhaps spend more time with President Trump. Do you want to meet again with President Trump when you're standing on U.S. soil?
President Trump took a big step towards Syria by lifting the sanctions with a quick, courageous, and historic decision. He recognized that Syria should be safe, stable, and unified. This is in the greatest interest for all countries of the world, not just Syria. I believe the answer is yes. We need to discuss a great many issues and mutual interests between Syria and the USA. We must restore relations in a good and direct way.
Many of the officials that I spoke to about you describe you as a pragmatist. Other skeptics say that you change to meet what you need to be in that moment. And that's important to understand who you are and the direction you're taking Syria in. Are you saying that you are just a completely changed man?
I don't entirely agree with the description of pragmatist, because in Arabic, it has some negative connotations. The point is, let's look at what's happening now, regardless of what was said in the media. Today, we have really saved the people from the oppression that was being thrust on them by the criminal regime. And we have restored hope for the people who are refugees or internally displaced, so they can return to their homeland. We supported the people who were bombed with chemical weapons. We also confronted ISIS. We expelled the Iranian militias and Hezbollah from the region. All of these noble acts we took in Syria should have been the role of the international community. But the international community was unable to free a single prisoner or break the siege on a single town where people were starving to death. The international community failed to deter the regime from using chemical weapons. So I don't believe we should be standing accused at the defense table. But we should be the one asking others, why did you stand silent as these terrible crimes were taking place in Syria?
You believe the world failed Syria, and now the world should help rebuild it?
Of course. And I believe the world must not be complicit again in the killing of the Syrian people by slowing down or preventing the lifting of sanctions and preventing them from reconstructing their nation. Anybody who stands against the lifting of sanctions would be complicit in killing the Syrian people once again.
More of my interview with President Al-Sharaa will appear on the new season of 60 Minutes.